Okay, now you have it, a new transition video. I'm creating more and more of those guys, also this one here. By the way, everything you see is made from scratch. That means everything. I just use the Blender. That means texture, material, and blah, 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 all made from scratch, if this means anything. So it's not just a lazy copy and paste job. So in the last, there is a video on this channel where I just for fun created this one here. And I said in the video that I would create use an older material of mine. And I know, but it's, I gotta be more bold about my ego a bit. So, but I ended up actually creating a new shader slash material slash texture, which is pretty cool. Maybe I'm gonna cover that on my Blender channel, Project Lara Blender channel. There's also a video on the Blender channel where I show how to make transitions in general, those seamless transitions when you start, let's say I would play the game Cyberpunk, and then this would be an optimal transition video, right? The other would be for racing games. I have much more. This would be like more for the ladies maybe, or not just, but maybe like an ASMR thing or something could be, I could imagine. And yeah, so I'm just gonna show you the evolution of this little side project. It is a side project because while it looks very detailed, the most time it took me was creating the shader, the material again. But it would take much more time if you want to make it more realistic, meaning those things are just stuck into each other. I didn't consider that it makes a lot of sense. It just looks believable enough, but you can really, if you like that, create a realistic motherboard where some slots are ready to be, where there are some slots for the RAM, for example. I didn't do that, so that's the reason why I can create this very fast, But then it would look even better, But it's not necessary always. Anyhow, so then this one, then that one, then that one, this, that, and I like the wallpaper. I gave it also names. You can see this one is called Motherboard Frank. That's for organization purposes. But also in this case, the thumbnails slash wallpaper, they mirror the project files. Meaning, if I if I check them out in a half year later and I see this thumbnail, then I have a project file where it looks exactly like that, where I could just continue working on that. And that's possible because those project files are very small, which is not always the case. I have a Black Raven animation, which really you should check out because it's a lot of work. It's over a year of working, creating everything, and no one has seen it. I know it's YouTube, and YouTubing is not a rough place. It's just annoying sometimes, especially the people. But anyhow. On my Project Lara, Black Raven, check it out. It's really worth checking it out. Anyhow, then this is the same scene, just change the reflection a little bit, And I use, by the way, this one here uses the game engine render, meaning it's I can render or finish the animation faster. If I want to render it in cycles, there are two types of render methods in Blender. One is like a game engine, which is fast, and the other one is more like a movie render engine, which is more realistic or, for pictures. And it takes just more time. At my home, I have a stronger tower computer, and maybe I'm gonna render this in high quality again, just because it's cool. Yeah, so this is the most current one, and if you like, you can also, if you like that, I know this is just HD, but feel free to grab it and to use it as a just to screenshot it if you like that. I don't know if you like it. This is always tricky, It depends who is watching that, So anyhow, so you can take a picture. The idea is again that I put those things because I have plenty of little side projects which I didn't publish. And what do I do with that anyways, Anyhow, so let me just talk a little bit about this. This one here is basically Frank 14. Here I added some cables and some other stuff, and I made a little bit more sense where the placement of the chips are. And what would help the situation here is adding more modeling objects which make sense on a motherboard, like condensator and so on, then it becomes better and better. But you know, then you spend more time on that. And so basically I work until Frank 9, which is this one here. And I like that. And then I overworked on this. And while this is cool, I went a different direction. This looks like a tank from this perspective. And basically I tried to improve that, wasn't satisfied. So I jumped back, you know, and continued work on that one. Things in Blender always start simple and become more complex, but it's like a game with, you know, RTS games, role-playing games, same thing, basically. Yeah, I like this one a lot, but again, it depends on, you know, yeah. What else do I have to say? No, nothing. I just want to show you the shader actually, and maybe the scene. This is the scene right now. This is the animation scene. I have a file, save file, which is only for the pictures. And here we can jump into maybe, yeah, the 14A stands for animation. I think so. I just thought ABC, but now it makes sense when I say it like that. Yeah. Anyway, okay. Good. So this would be the. And I'm going to show you the difference between this is the high quality render. Looks more realistic. I don't know if you can see that very well on YouTube, but you can see it's already takes more time, right? And so rendering this would probably take a whole day on this machine. And I don't want to abuse my laptop, like you know, I want to only use when I travel, and so no heavy tasks necessarily, except gaming. Well, you know, sometimes. Okay, so that is I should actually save it like that. Yeah, and what I was working on, I said when you check out the thumbnail video which I showed you earlier, let me just open up this one here. Yeah, here I created a new shader. I'm just gonna show it because it's cool. I created this one here, but actually not this one. I'm not so satisfied with this guy here. I should maybe. The other one is cleaner. So let me save it in here. The chip is cleaner, makes more sense here. You know, see that this the reflection here. This one here is clean. So I created this shader, and for the Blender people, this is a displacement used in the shader options here, which is not a secret. It's just I don't want to show that because it takes too long. But if you have some interest, let me know. I can show that in more detail. But this is the chip. It's not a perfect method. I should limit the chip when it's appearing. This is the chip. And the chip goes into the displacement, and those little bumps here, I separated them. They do not go into the displacement. They are only bumps, because otherwise if they are displacement 2, meaning 3-dimensional, then they will hover and look weird. Anyhow, so what you can do with that thing, you don't have to know Blender, just I'm going to show you because it's funny. You can, when we take a look at the chip here a bit, I know it's a little bit hard, but let me just orientate. Oh no, this is the wrong guy. Yeah, sometimes this is something which I was thinking in the video I recorded. Something like that happened. I was thinking, what is that? What the heck is that? It's actually my mouse doing that. This is pressing the M key. So I set up my mouse on the Linux somehow. That this one here is the M key. So I accidentally I mute my things sometimes with the mouse, which is stupid, but okay. Yeah, so we can change those details here. I think there's something off with the lightning. I need better lightning here. Yeah, that's better. Now we can see it better. Okay, so those little bubbles here are adjustable, and that's just a texture, a procedural generated texture. Set it up, So that could work, right? Maybe, I don't know. And then, no, I do know that could work. If it looks believable, that's good. And here we can change the rim of that. The rim I actually solved for the Blender people in a very simple way. It uses the same texture, only this one uses ease and this one uses constant, which allows you to give some blurrish information, and you can use the blurrish information to create another rim to give it this little rim here, which is pretty cool, very simple. And here I used first time this clamp thing, which is better than I try to use more math nodes instead of color ramp and mix, but if this is better or not, I don't know. Depends on what you wanna achieve, I think. And I'm an all-rounder. That means I'm good. I can do a lot of things. I get my stuff done, but there are people who are specialized on certain things, and they are always gonna be better at those tasks. I'm good for creativity though, um, and they are too. But you know, again, best thing is to combine me with someone who is more structured. That would be an awesome team. Anyhow, let's see what else. Yeah, those things I can change here. Nah, not what is that actually? I think those are the little bumps here. Yeah, little bumps here. Bum 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 bum. And so I created this shader. I was very happy with this one. I thought it's gonna look awesome in the other scene, but it didn't look awesome at all because of the lighting. Lighting plays a huge role, so I had to adjust the lighting again. And I ended up changing the motherboard again. And also I can show you this is the first approach. You know, this looks actually like an old school motherboard kind of thing. This one looks even more simple. I know you cannot really see this very well. This is not a how to do things, how to do, but yeah, you know, let me know if there's some interest. I may consider making a video on Project Lara where I explain things. But if this is a half year later, I might moved on already. So basically I changed the reflections and stuff like this for the other shader, and then again, because it didn't work with the lighting setting with the whole, it just didn't work. This one is also right now two-dimensional, but I can show you something cool. So, and for the Blender people, I use displacement as in the shader here. Right now not, wait. Let's you know, here we go. Basically, actually almost only for the chips. So here are the chips. They go into map range, but you don't have to do it necessarily. You can choose something other than those little things around the chip. Those guys here. You see. And here I limited the. Again, I muted this accidentally. I should maybe save that like so. Don't know. Here, I with a math node try to limit the area, which still needs to adjust more, but basically this is just a math node which is a cycle which allows you to make those things expand. Anyhow, let's go back to this thing here. This is the displacement on the shader, and then I have another displacement for this, which I didn't use in this way in the animation, but that's the modifier displacement in combination. You can use that in combination with the shader thing, which works meanwhile both in Eve since Blender 5.0. And this is the texture of the modified the displacement. That's only for the Blender people if you want, but you can do some changes here for the people who don't know. You just, you know, this here. By the way, if you are interested in stuff like this and you want to check out Blender and you are overwhelmed, so much things to do, you can definitely do it. That is definitely doable because I can do that. If you're kind of like me and everything overwhelms you, you just take it easy and tweak some things here and there. You know, just very simple things. The first animations I did, the first things I did just copied and cubes, you know, copied different cubes, you know, and like something like that. That's how I started, slowly learning those things. I watched a lot of YouTube videos, you know, Well, that's how I did it back then. Also, there is a I think the introduction video on this channel. It's one of my very first animations, which are awesome because they are highly creative because when you don't know what you're doing, you discovering accidentally more than you discover when you know what you're doing. That's a problem when you become an expert. Um, you really it's good that new people are coming and not following the rules, because if you don't follow the rules, you discover certain things. You screw up a lot, but you discover more things. And as soon as you know how things work, you always do the same thing, and that's boring. That's why, my work and everybody else's work gets maybe looks better. I mean, not better than other people, but it starts to look better. But it also gets more boring. That's yeah. So the power is when you start out new, or you have some kids and they have interest. Tell them that they can tweak and tweak and tweak, and if they are more structured and more in terms of sometimes people are more like um, not necessarily less creative, but um, more focused on the task they set themselves. So less distracted. They would be good for geometry nodes and so on, I imagine. Anyhow, so now rambling, I'm going. I just wanted to show you the new thing, which I like. I create a website. Maybe I should ask a friend because I really hate this idea. I don't know. It's expensive, the shit. And I don't want to create it myself from scratch. I don't have the time for that. I have too many interests, and I don't want to do that. Uh, yeah, that's it. What else? Also, maybe games quickly, just in case you're there. Um, I really like the game Soulstone Survivors. It's really cool. It's a really cool game. And there's another game. Yeah, I want to recommend that, especially if you have kids or you are a kid. But I think this channel has only the old guys usually, because the older gameplay videos here. And they don't listen. Anyhow, but if you have kids, Cube Odyssey is a good game. I played it. I hate crafting games a lot. Meanwhile, because most of the crafting games, they're just wasting your time. But games there are some crafting games which are also encourage your fantasy and your creativity, because you can really craft cool stuff, and that's the case with the game. I think it's called Cube Odyssey or something like that. Cubic Odyssey or Cube Odyssey, something like that. Very, very cool game. I really liked it. I played it a bit. It's really, really cool. It's kind of like a No Man's Sky-ish game, and Minecraft. Really, really cool game. Yeah. And then I have here, actually, this is how I should save it, because um, this will confuse me in a half here, because this is what I want to see when I come back. Those materials you saw earlier, they are in my asset browser already as new assets. Okay, that's it. Yeah, bye bye. I'm going now. I'm not gonna say that YouTube shit. I hate this so much. Everybody sounds like the same. What is happening with people? Gotta go. Bye bye.